Welcome to the Friday Value video, and I thought I would do something a little bit different today. I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to do sort of a series on what I call healthy substitutes. So many times people aren't quite sure, okay, how do I substitute this? How do I substitute that? If you're going to start trying to do the right things for yourself and you really want to be good to yourself nutritionally, and you're learning all these things, you know a whole food plant-based diet, you've heard it so many times, no oils, no added oils, and water your first choice beverage, and you want to be following this and learn how to do this, but you're not sure what to substitute. So sometimes we get caught up in these things that we really shouldn't substitute because they're really not all that good for you, right? Some of them can be like what I call transitional foods, kind of temporary until you figure out what you're doing. But the first rule for good health is to avoid dieting, right? We don't want to diet. We don't want to portion our food. We don't want to count our calories. If you're doing the right things, you do not need to count calories or portion control. You've got all these beautiful foods on the table. You can pretty much eat to your heart's content unless you've got some real issues going, right? So these are the different topics that we're going to cover, and this will be a fairly lengthy series of Friday Value videos. We're going to start off today with what's in a meal, okay? So you want to build meals around unrefined starches. Complex starches. We're not talking donuts and cookies and cakes here. We're talking complex starches like potatoes. These are the foods to eat most, right? Whole brown rice, those kind of things. And then to this centerpiece, you'll add fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables. Simplicity has great value, and it makes the diet easy to prepare. So, and I'm talking about your food, not being on a diet, right? The whole food plant-based diet is not being on a diet. Hopefully you've got that, right? So build your meals around unrefined starches. There's that great variety, right? You don't need to have this, eat 45 different types of plants to assure nutritional adequacy, because these foods are complete long before they reach the table. So all of these different foods are just loaded with nutrition, loaded, lots of variety in each one of these foods. So you don't have to worry, there's so many different plant foods out there. You're not going to be stuck eating just one or two things. Now, of course, your taste buds might be a little bit challenged and you may only like 2 or 3 different kinds of vegetables, but for the most part, there's lots of variety, right? So the complex carbs in brown rice, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, legumes, which is beans and lentils, broccoli, and bananas, will keep you thin and well-nourished. And I'm not saying you have to stick to bananas. What I'm saying is all of these vegetables and these fruits and these different things will provide the nutrition you need. You will not become nutritionally deficient by eating a whole food plant-based diet, unless you're, sticking with white rice for 10 years. But of course, white rice is not a complex carb because the fiber has been removed from it. And now it's more like a simple carb, right? And I love this quote. The news is not that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you, they could save your life. And this was printed in Time magazine like 20 years ago. So we've known this stuff for a long time.